Oh, hey there! My name is Jared, and I'm the Water Conservation Specialist for Pflugerville. So what am I doing by this stream, you may ask? Well, I'm picking up trash. And while I was picking up trash, it got me thinking about the water and where it comes from. So if you're ready, let's follow water from the clouds all the way to your drinking glass. Let's go! Hey everyone, thanks for coming on this journey and following water on its journey. So now that we're here, let's talk about one of the most important processes that we have on Earth, and that is the water cycle. So what is the water cycle? Well, that's where water is heated by the sun, rises into the air as evaporation, up into the air, it cools, condensates into clouds, goes over land, and then falls down as precipitation. Whoa, well that was a lot right there. What does that actually look like? Well, let's take a look. Come down here to my model. Down here we have a flame that's heating my pot full of water. That flame is the sun. And when the sun, or my flame, heats up the water, it then goes up into the air as evaporation. You can see that here as the steam. Now, as that steam rises into the air, it starts to get cold. And when water gets cold, it acts like a penguin. And those water molecules huddle together for warmth. And that warmth and that huddling is called condensation. As that water gets closer and closer together, it starts to condensate, forming clouds in the sky. Now, as those clouds gather more and more water, they go and they drop their load as precipitation. So what is precipitation? Well, that's just a fancy word for anything from snow, sleet, hail, or water, such as rain. Today we're going to talk about precipitation as if it's rain though. So when water falls down as precipitation, it falls down onto the ground below and is collected in things called watersheds. Well, what is a watershed? Well, it definitely isn't a shed full of water. The watershed is actually an area of land that collects all of the water that falls from the sky and points it towards one outflow, such as a river, lake, or even the ocean. So let's take a look at that. If you look down here in my watershed, I'm gonna put a little bit of chocolate flavored love on there. I'm gonna put that down there. Now this is just pollution, okay? This is stuff that we leave behind, oils or, trash that we leave on our area. So it's important to make sure to always clean up after yourself. Now, when the water falls down as precipitation, it hits our land and the land directs that water where to go. And that is our watershed. So here, as you can see, all of our water is draining off of the tall hills down into the streams below and then outflowing to this, which we're gonna call our lake. And now, as you can see, it also takes all of our pollution with it too. So here in Pflugerville, we have two watersheds. One is the Wilbarger Creek watershed, and the second is the Gilliland Creek watershed. Now, both of those creeks then flow out of Pflugerville and they go into a much larger watershed, which is the Colorado River watershed. So why did I tell you all that? Well, it's important for our journey of water in Pflugerville, because from the Colorado River watershed, we then pipe it all the way up to the Pflugerville Lake. And that's where our journey really begins. In Pflugerville, we transport the water from the Colorado River through a large pipe and store it in Lake Pflugerville. Now, we also get some of our water from underground through wells around the city, but we can talk about that some other time. Now back to Lake Pflugerville. Many of you may know Lake Pflugerville as a great place to fish, swim, or go for a walk, but it's actually much more than a recreational area. Lake Pflugerville is where we store our water before the city cleans it. If you really think about it, Lake Pflugerville is a place for our water to finally rest before it continues its journey. And if water is anything like me, it could use the rest. The last stage before water ends in your water glass is the cleaning phase. Just like me, water needs a good scrubbing, and that happens at Pflugerville's water treatment facility. To clean the water from Lake Pflugerville, it is first pumped from the lake and passes through a screen. This screen catches large items such as sticks, rocks, and trash. The lake water is then passed through pre-treatment, taste, and odor control stages. The first phases go by quickly before the water is slowed down for some more serious cleaning. Over the next few stages, smaller particles are removed from the water, which makes our water look clear. Once clear, the water is passed through fine filters, removing harmful bacteria. The water is then injected with a small amount of chlorine compound that makes our water safe to drink and also protects the water as it moves through pipes to your home. And finally, water ends up at your tap. Water's tiring journey has finally ended, and it ends with you taking a sip of nice clean water. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and I hope you remember to conserve your water. Have a great day.